Something big is happening in the Red Sea. U.S. Navy ships are under attack almost every day. They're shooting down drones, missiles, and even dealing with small boat attacks. But now, there's a new problem, something even more dangerous than the enemy. They're running out of ammo. For most of us, it sounds crazy. The United States has the strongest military in the world. Billions of dollars go into it every year. So how is it possible that Navy ships are running low on missiles? How can the Houthis be pushing the U.S. Navy this hard? In the past, a war at sea usually meant big ships and short battles. But this is different. This is a long fight with lots of small attacks, over and over again. And every time the Navy fires a missile to stop a drone, it loses one more expensive weapon that's hard to replace. These attacks have been happening for months. Navy ships are doing everything they can to defend commercial ships in the Red Sea. Ships carrying oil, food, and supplies for the whole world. But the more they defend, the more they shoot. And the more they shoot, the less they have left. Top commanders are now warning the public, we're using up our missiles too fast. And the Houthis, they're still going strong. This is not just a small Middle East problem anymore. This is a warning sign. If the Navy can run low now, what happens if there's a bigger war next time? The danger is real, and the clock is ticking. Now, who are the Houthis? The Houthis are a rebel group from Yemen, a small country on the edge of the Arabian Peninsula. They started out as a local militia, fighting for control in Yemen. But they didn't stay small for long. Iran, America's enemy, saw them as a tool to spread chaos and began giving them money, weapons, and training. Now, the Houthis are no longer just a local problem. They're launching drone and missile attacks far beyond Yemen, right into the Red Sea. Their weapons are getting more advanced, and their attacks more dangerous. They say they're fighting for Gaza and against Israel, but their real goal? To shake up the whole region and challenge America's power. These attacks don't just hurt ships, they hurt the whole world. Oil prices go up, food shipments get delayed, and the U.S. Navy got caught in a fight it never expected. But how is the Navy running out of ammo? When we think of the U.S. Navy, we imagine giant ships with endless firepower. But in this new kind of fight, even the strongest ships are using up their missiles faster than they can get new ones. Since late 2023, the Houthis have launched over 500 attacks. That's hundreds of drones and missiles flying at Navy ships and cargo ships every week. Each time the Navy has to shoot them down. They don't have a choice. These drones can explode on impact, killing sailors and sinking ships. The missiles the Navy uses to stop these attacks are very powerful. The SM-2 and SM-6 missiles can shoot down almost anything in the sky, but they also cost millions of dollars each, and the Navy doesn't have endless piles of them. It gets worse. In just 1 year of fighting the Houthis, the Navy has used more air defense missiles than in the past 30 years combined. That's right, 30 years of stockpiles, used up in just 1 year of constant defense. To save their missiles, Navy ships are even using their 5-inch cannons. These are old-school big guns that fire shells instead of guided missiles. They're cheaper, but not as accurate against small drones. Sailors are doing everything they can to stretch out their ammo. But there's another big problem. Building new missiles takes time. A lot of time. Factories need months or even years to make these complex weapons. And right now, those factories can't keep up. All of this has the top Navy leaders worried. They're telling Washington that the Navy is burning through missiles too fast. The fear is simple. If a bigger fight starts, the Navy might not have enough missiles left to win. The Houthis keep sending drones. The Navy keeps shooting them down. But every missile they fire makes the future a little more uncertain and makes the world wonder. What happens if the Navy really does run out? You probably started wondering, how is the U.S. fighting back against the Houthis? The Navy knows it can't just sit back and defend forever. So the U.S. decided to hit back hard. In early 2024, the U.S. launched Operation Rough Rider. This is not just a defensive mission. It's a full-scale campaign to stop the Houthis before they can launch more attacks. U.S. warplanes and drones have carried out over 800 strikes in Yemen, hitting missile launchers, drone factories, and weapons warehouses. Navy destroyers and submarines have also fired cruise missiles to hit Houthi bases. These strikes are meant to weaken the Houthis, to stop them from sending more missiles and drones into the Red Sea. But it's not easy. The Houthis are smart. They hide their weapons in mountains, underground bunkers, and even in homes. They move their missile launchers quickly so that American bombs and missiles can't find them in time. The US military says it's doing everything it can, but the attacks keep coming. Every day there's a new wave of drones. Every day the Navy has to be ready to shoot them down, while also trying to stop the next wave before it even starts. This is a game of cat and mouse. The US hits them. The Houthis hide, move, and hit back again. And in the middle of it all, Navy ships have to protect cargo ships carrying food, oil, and medicine to the rest of the world. The US is also working with allies. British, French, and other countries' navies are helping patrol the Red Sea. They share radar data to help spot drones early. But even with friends helping, the Houthis are tough to stop. The fighting is taking a toll on everyone. US sailors are working long hours, always on alert. Commanders are making tough decisions every day. Which threats to hit now, and which can wait. One mistake could mean a missile slipping through and hitting a ship. So far, the Navy is holding the line, but the big question remains: how long can they keep this up? Or will the Houthis eventually push them too far? Right now, the Navy is holding steady, but everyone knows that can't last forever. Sailors are working day and night. Missiles are being used up faster than they can be replaced. This is a wake-up call for America. The Navy needs to build more missiles and weapons, and it needs to do it fast. Factories need to work around the clock. The military also needs to plan better, because wars like this are not going away. The Houthis are showing everyone how a small group with cheap weapons can force the world's biggest navy to spend billions of dollars just to stay afloat. This is why military leaders are sounding the alarm. They're telling the government, we need to invest in more weapons, faster production, and new ways to fight. If we don't, America could lose its edge at sea, and that would be bad news for everyone. This isn't just about the Navy. It's about every country that relies on safe shipping in the Red Sea and beyond. If cargo ships can't move safely, the whole world suffers. Food, medicine, and oil don't get where they need to go. Prices go up for everyone, from small families to big businesses. The Houthis are still out there, and they're not stopping. They're sending more drones and missiles every day. The Navy can't afford to run out of ammo. If they do, the Houthis could control one of the world's most important shipping lanes. For now, the Navy is standing strong, but the message is clear. This is not over. The Navy needs new missiles, new plans, and new ways to fight back. Because if they can't stop these attacks soon, the next battle could be even bigger and even harder to win. What do you think will happen when the Navy runs out of ammo? Don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments.